Hey guys, so before we get into today's episode, I have an announcement. Brum, 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 brum. It is officially 1 month until the first year anniversary of Do I Look Fat podcast. Can you guys believe I've been doing this for a whole year? That is crazy to me. And while, yes, I might have missed an episode here and there, I have tried my hardest to bring you guys the best content, the best guests, just a good ass time. All right. And with that, because it is the 1 year anniversary of my podcast, I am hosting my first intimate live show. This is in like commemoration of my Zoom launch party last year. Remember, in the middle of a pandemic, it was lit. It was probably about like 7 hours and we had a blast. And I'm just trying to bring that same type of vibe, love, support, energy to my live show. It is going to be on Sunday, May 2nd in New York City. So if you are in the tri-state area, tickets officially go on sale today. Okay, the link will be down in the description bar. If you are subscribed to the Do I Look Fat mailing list, you will get a 10% discount for purchasing an early bird ticket. There will be a link to subscribe to the Do I Look Fat mailing list. So not only will you get your discount for the ticket, you will also get all updated information, everything having to do Steffi Kiss and Do I Look Fat pod. Okay, it's a win-win situation. I cannot wait until this live show. I'm going to have a bunch of previous guests in attendance, so you guys get to meet them too. I get to meet some of my listeners, a lot of people who I've actually spoken to on social media. I want you guys to come too. I want to meet you guys. I cannot believe I have been speaking to you for a whole year. Again, I'm so excited. Thank you so much to all of my listeners for all of your support, all of your love, just everything. Like you guys really got me through some things this past year. This podcast really got me through some things, and I'm ready to celebrate it. I have a lot of things in store. I have a lot of ideas, especially for this live show. So if you are in the tri-state area, I would love to meet you, and I would love to have you in attendance to my first annual anniversary live show. I sound crazy, but it's just because I'm so excited. Okay, I took up enough of your time. Let's get into the episode.
Do I look fat?
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Do I Look Fat podcast. It's your girl, Steffi Kiss. This week's guest is a coach, a fellow autism mama, and someone who loves to make it fun, Bernadette Henry. Hey love, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. How are you faring in the clock change, as they call it overseas?
Well, I guess gotta get used to it and play it day by day. Like this week is gonna be like tiresome week for me anyway, because I actually go into work this week. So anytime I go in, like I'm so drained afterwards. So
It's crazy how different a year is, right? Like
very
you're dreading the week that you have to go into work, but you were doing it every week, like probably a year ago or so. So It's just wild. We're coming into that time of the anniversary of Corona, but I don't want to have the episode focus on that because I'm tired of talking about
right.
to be honest. Tell my listeners who you are and what you have going on.
So my name is Bernadette Henry, and I am a mom of 3 boys. I am a wife. I am a full-time employee. I have a business, Make It Fun NYC, where I make jump rope and exercise as a whole more fun and exciting for anyone looking to live a healthy and active lifestyle. And I'm also a coach for moms over 40 to help them manage their lives, physically, mentally, and emotionally.
That is amazing. That is amazing. I have been following Bernadette for a couple of years now, a few years now at this point. And I remember I found you because it was at a point where I was looking just for anyone who did like different types of workouts. I would just join random workout classes or whatever. And I saw that you had this jump rope class. And I was just like, oh my God, that looks like so much fun. So I actually did one in the city, and I hadn't jumped rope since like elementary school before that. Like And it was amazing. I had a great time. I would recommend
Thank you.
anyone to go check out your classes for sure because they are a good time. So before we get into the actual episode, I like to start each episode with an icebreaker. So it's
Okay.
where we're gonna do a would you rather type of situation. So I'm going to give you two scenarios. You let me know which one you would rather and why. Okay.
Okay.
So the first one is, would you rather be able to see 10 minutes into your own future or 10 minutes into the future of anyone but yourself?
I would say 10 minutes into the future of anyone else. Why? I would say, especially the kids, just to
Mhm.
know what they're going to do and how I am to brace myself for it when that time happens.
The surprises be real when you have kids. Right? I can only imagine three boys. It's three boys that you have?
Three boys.
Oh my goodness. The craziness that they must get themselves into because I have one and he's pretty low key, but sometimes I'm just like, why? Like, what are you doing?
All the time.
So I get that. I don't know if I would want to see 10 minutes into the future of my own life all the time. Like, life is fun with surprises. I would want to be surprised for
True.
certain things. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I would definitely pick seeing it for someone else. And maybe you can pick and choose, which would be fun too, you know?
Great.
Okay, so the next one is, would you rather be suddenly elected a senator or suddenly become a CEO of a major company? You won't have any more knowledge of doing either job.
Um, I would say the CEO of a major company.
Mhm.
Because even though politics can be involved in a company, I think that becoming a CEO of a company is more entrepreneur like as
Mhm.
opposed to being a senator, which is more into the politics, which I'm not really into. So
Right.
I would say the latter.
Yeah, I don't know anything about politics to be honest. Like it's terrible and I should know more, but I just grew up not really caring about it for the most part. So I don't know much about it. I don't know, aside from what I learned in like school, branches of the government, and all of that. Like, I don't really know what goes, the intricacies of all of that. So I don't think I would want to be a senator either. And, like, isn't our goal to be the CEO of a major of a major
Right.
brand or a major
At least
company?
my brand, yes.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, so the next one is, would you rather live in a cave or live in a treehouse?
Um, I think I'd rather live in a treehouse, just
Mhm.
because it's open and I can see what's around me, what surrounds me, and I have a little bit more control over my environment than if I was like locked in a cave. It would kind of feel like, I guess, I've never been to prison, but like prison like.
Mhm, like
Yeah,
trapped
isolated. Yep.
almost. Yeah, I get that. And for me, I would also pick a treehouse because I live in an apartment now where we don't get a lot of sunlight. And it's dark in here all the time. And you don't realize how much you miss like the sunlight just coming into your space every day until you don't have it anymore. So I don't know if I definitely wouldn't want to live in a cave. I know that for sure. I would rather live in a treehouse, even though like I get dizzy sometimes when it's kind of high off the ground. I think I'll probably get over it just for the
Right.
sunlight and the sunshine. All right. So the next question is the final question. Would you rather be unable to move your body every time it rains or not be able to stop moving while the sun is out?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You
Mhm.
said be unable to stop moving when the sun.
Unable to move when it rains, unable to stop moving when the sun is out.
Um, I would say the latter, not being able to stop when the sun comes out. Um, because the sun is ideal time to be out and
Mhm.
able to run and move and things like that. So yeah, I think I prefer that one.
Yeah. It was the question was weird, but then the more I started to think about it, because the obvious answer is, to keep on moving while the sun is out, right? But then it's like, do you ever get a break? Like, what if you're
Right.
tired and it's like a sunny day and you're not able to take a nap because you're just moving around and all of that? But that's those are scenarios which will probably never happen in real life. So it's okay. But that brings us into our first segment, right? Which is Eat
Mhm.
Your Heart Out. And this segment basically provides my listeners with like help tips and gems for different aspects of life. And today, because you are my guest, I wanted to talk about jump rope as a form of cardio, right?
Okay.
Obviously, you are the expert here, but for everyone who may be new to the jump rope game, jumping rope is a complete body workout. It can tone your calves, tighten your core, improve lung capacity, and build stamina. Okay. When it comes to jump roping, what recommendations would you give someone who is starting for the first time?
I would tell someone that's starting for the first time to make sure they are wearing the correct shoes. The shoes are very important. They should have something that absorbs shock, such as a running shoe or a cross trainer. I would suggest that, of course, they have the proper stretches and warm up. I would suggest that they're jumping on the correct surface, which can be a wood floor or a rubber turf. I would suggest that they they actually learn how to jump. So have someone teach them how to jump the correct way. Don't jump too high off the ground, only jump high enough to clear the rope. Take it step by step, like little by little. I see like a lot of times people are starting and they're kind of going blindly into it because it's kind of like the fad right now. It's like as
Mhm.
soon as I tell someone 10 minutes of jump rope is equivalent to a 30-minute jog, everyone is so ready to jump, but now they're not properly taught how to jump. And as a result, they hurt themselves and give jump rope a bad rap. So
Mhm.
definitely just making sure that you're careful, that you learn, and that you're well equipped before starting this new activity.
Definitely, definitely. I'm happy that you said, learning the correct form because I can tell you for me, I started off as a running, right? Like running was my
Right.
primary cardio. And then, just getting older, my feet were starting to hurt, right? So I wanted something that wasn't so hard on my feet. So I thought, okay, maybe jump roping. But then I was like, oh my goodness, this can actually be worse if I'm not doing it correctly.
Right.
I was getting like shin splints at one point
Okay.
when I was jumping rope, and I wasn't sure why. And it turns out I was wearing the wrong shoes. I
Okay.
changed the type of shoes that I had on. I had like really clunky, heavy shoes, and I don't know why, but I changed my shoes and it didn't happen right away, but little by little it did start improving and I wasn't having the issues that I was having in the beginning. Why would you say jumping rope is your go-to exercise?
Uh, Jump rope is my go-to because it's just fun. It's just like I don't get bored and I can get half the work. I can get a bulk of my workout done in a little time of jumping rope than
Mhm.
like more time running, you know?
Mhm.
So a lot of times, jump rope is very hard. Like I make it look fun and easy, but jump rope is a really hard exercise. But, if you're able to kind of get a lot done. So my typical jump rope workout is 10 sets of 100 jumps, right?
Mhm.
And I can get that done within 10 minutes. So with that intensity, I'm getting this equivalent of a 30-minute jog. So basically, I cut down half the time. Number one. Number two, I can do it anywhere, anytime. So if I don't have a babysitter, guess what? I
Mhm.
can jump in my house. I can go outside, in front of my building. I could go in my hallway. I don't have to go far to get this workout in. Because I'm so busy, I have so much things going on. It can allow me to just change clothes, go do jump rope, come back. You can do it anywhere, any place, anytime. And it's just a very convenient exercise and just very good for your whole body.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on weighted ropes?
You said the beaded ropes.
The weighted.
Oh, the weighted ropes. I use a cross rope weighted rope, and I use that jump rope because it helps to burn twice the calories. It helps with keeping my muscles, so my shoulders, my biceps, my triceps, my wrists. It just helps to keep everything together. Also, it helps with weight loss. So when you're
Mhm.
lifting something heavy, it helps you to lose that weight.
Mhm.
And I try to encourage women like 35 and over to add some resistance in their life, because when you add resistance, now you're going to look smaller. So even if the scale is still saying this number, because you have more lean muscle mass, you're going to look smaller. So you can have two women that's 230 pounds, but the one that has less body fat is going to look smaller than the one that has more body fat.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so crazy how your body can hold fat versus lean muscle mass, and how it literally figures your body to look a different way completely. I remember a couple of years ago, I have a picture and it's probably on my Instagram. And maybe I'll share it when the episode comes out. I have a picture of me in the same black and white dress. And it was like a year and a half apart, right? And the way I think I weighed more when I looked smaller than as opposed to when I looked bigger. And that's just because I just looked leaner, right? So like you can see my clavicle and like my collar, the muscle like by my shoulders are a little bit more prominent, or like I'm just looking a little bit leaner in the waist. And it's crazy, but I weighed more, right? And that's what people have to understand. Don't just try to focus on the scale, because it's not a good thing to do, especially if you're focusing on building muscle and, building lean muscle and just, cutting off of the fat, because muscle weighs more than fat. Like we hear this all the time over and over again, but I don't think people understand, and they don't realize it. And when we say building muscle, we're not we're not lifting weights with a jump rope, right? Like how heavy is a weighted jump rope usually?
It depends. You can get different weights. You can get the 1, 2, 3. I mean, you can get whatever one you want. When I do my workouts, I usually use a 1/2 pound.
Okay. So imagine
my goal is still to get through it in a quick time.
Oh, so you're more like endurance and
right. But the weighted ropes brings the challenge, because imagine swinging something heavy around really quickly as opposed to doing it slowly. So now I'm burning. So I'm getting like the best of both worlds, your cardio and your weightlifting.
Yeah. And that's amazing. It's a good workout, like a total body workout, like we said before. Are you incorporating anything else into your workout routine?
Yes, of course. So for the jump rope workouts, I usually do the weighted ropes, and then I use my freestyle ropes for like the other things. And then I do a lot of resistance band workouts. A lot of resistance, like a resistance band workout, kettlebells, dumbbells. Yes, of course I do other things. So usually I'll feature that on Wednesdays on Instagram and tell everybody, hey, look, if your goal is to lose weight or to look smaller, add other things in addition to like the jump rope, which is the cardio.
Right. When I was heavy in the gym, I would do an active rest. So in between my sets of whatever body part I was working on, I would do 30 to 60 seconds of just jumping rope, as many jumps as I can within that time frame, depending on what body part I was working on. And when I tell you the calories I burned those days when I added jumping rope in between my sets, it was crazy. And you just don't realize like your heart, like it's going to continue pumping. Like you feel like it's going to come out of your chest, and you feel like, like you can't breathe or whatever, but it's going to get better. It's going to work harder each time, and it's going to gain more stamina, more endurance, and it's going to be easier. So that's why it's good to add the weighted ropes, just to give yourself a little bit more of a challenge.
Yep.
That's amazing. So we're actually going to get into our next segment. And this is the one I'm actually more excited about, because this episode is dropping on World Autism Day, Friday, April 2nd. Yes. And you are also a proud autism mama, just like I am. My son, for, any first time listeners, is 11 years old, and he has autism. He's nonverbal autistic for the most part. How has it been for you trying to stay active with kids on the spectrum, or even the kids who may not be on the spectrum?
It was really a concern more or less when COVID happened, because now with COVID, I'm home. So before I would go to the gym, but it's pretty cool. Like my kids, 2 out of the 3 enjoy, working out outside. So anytime I go outside, they can just go outside and play. So that's kind of the great thing about the jump rope, is that I can still be present with them, but they're still running, playing ball, riding bikes, riding scooters. And then in my hallway, a lot of the times I try to have them in the house, or sometimes my little son, he'll follow me outside. So I believe yesterday on Instagram, I actually
Mm-hmm.
posted a video of me doing like a workout and my son was there. So it's not it's not too bad, but I always tell moms too, I'm not going to get those cute little videos. You know how like some moms, they have these videos with their kids and they're just cute, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, this is not my reality. Like I when I do like my workout bands, for example, like in my hallway, my little son, he will come out, he will be in the camera like this, or
Mm-hmm.
he will just like run back and forth in front of the camera on purpose. And he knows that I'm recording, and it's just like, please stop. So it's just, you just go with the flow. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, like I said, sometimes they'll join you, sometimes they won't. But I've had to just adjust to this new reality. It's like, I'm going to have to work out, scream at them at the same time, work out, trying to move him out the way, try to get him involved. Like whatever it is, it's like, it has to get done. And, they're learning from that example.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, definitely. For the most part, my son ignores me. So if I'm working out at home, he's not really um like in it for the most part. Maybe he'll sit
Right.
on the couch if I'm in the living room and like side eye me from like the side of his face while he's on his iPad or whatever. So that's not really an issue for me. My major struggle is that I don't like working out at home, right? Like I
Right.
do it sometimes because I know I have to, because if I don't, I'm never going to work out. Like it's just never going to happen, because I've always struggled with childcare and
Right.
working out, right? Like even, let's say, for example, I remember there was a Bally's on, and I don't know if you're from Brooklyn, right? So I don't know how familiar you are with the Bronx, but there was a
I'm from the
Bally's.
Bronx, born and raised.
Okay.
Okay, let's get it
All right.
together.
Well, there you go. You just abandoned us for Brooklyn. It's okay. Because you're in Brooklyn, right? I know I'm not
I'm in
bugging.
Brooklyn now. Yes,
Okay,
from
okay.
2000 since 2016.
Okay. So you're a Bronxite, right? So the Bally's on Fordham Road, I'm on Fordham in the Concourse.
Right.
They had childcare. And Ethan was probably like 4 or 5, right? He was small. And I took him there, and I literally could not focus on my workout because I was just like, no one there understands him. Like, what if he
Right.
wants something? Like, what if he starts a tantrum? And it's just like, I can't do this. I can't do this.
Right.
So I've always struggled with like childcare and being able to go to the gym. And I would say my most fit part of my life was when I was able to go to the gym 4 times a week and not have to worry
Right.
about like where my son was. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's definitely a struggle. I wish more places, well, I mean, COVID now, it's not going to happen anytime soon, but before, I had wished more places had like child care facilities that were equipped for kids with special needs, because it's like it's not fair. Like if you're
Right.
having a child facility, then you should be able to accommodate most children.
But unfortunately, a lot of people are unable to adapt to
Mhm.
autism, and my children, they're considered, high functioning, but there's still things that come along with it. And,
Yeah, of
like they
course.
don't adapt to new environments well, they don't adapt to people like that they don't know. They their behaviors are seen as defiant, so
Mhm.
it's really difficult, right? This anywhere like summer camps, you can't put them in a regular summer camp.
Mm-mm.
Because my son wants to go to summer camp, and he's expressed this to me because he's about to turn 11, and he's
Mhm.
expressed like, I don't want to go to summer school anymore. I've been to five. I've been to summer school
Right.
5 times. I don't want to go
Right, because that's
anymore.
what they do in the summer is go to
Right,
school.
District 75. But
Mhm.
he is like, I'm not about that life anymore. He said he wants to go to summer camp, and I'm just going through this transition now because he's actually about to graduate 5th grade and go on to
Mhm.
the 6th grade. And right now he is in the District 75 12-1-1 program. But now the next school that we're looking at is inclusion. And
Ooh,
I am a nervous wreck, like, because he's going to be in a class with 22 kids, but
yeah.
there will be a one-on-one aid. So I believe there's going to be like 3 or 4
Like a
children
para.
with IEPs.
Mhm.
Yeah, I believe there's going to, but I'm just like, okay, what about lunchtime? What about this? And it's just like, okay, this is kind of the part that's coming up for me. Like, I'm just a nervous wreck, you know, and everybody's like,
Mm-hmm.
calm down. I'm like, no, like this is no longer a protected environment, you know?
Right.
And it's like now he's gonna be around other kids. He may get teased, and like my
Mm-hmm.
son doesn't like to speak up for himself. And I'm just really a nervous wreck. So when it comes to like other facilities, but I can bring it back to working out at home during the pandemic, even though like I'm a type of person, I do not, I have never ever in my life liked working out at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it used to be where I would squeeze in my gym time for like a lunchtime or something like that, where I didn't have
Right.
to worry about childcare. But in the pandemic, it's like, okay, I couldn't just sit and do nothing at all. It's like you
Mm-hmm.
have to maintain your activity. And even though you're not going to lift up 25 pounds like you would in the gym, it's like I still had to do something. So jump rope is something that I liked anyway. So I would do jump rope. And then I would look for other exercises that were fun. Okay. Because like I said, for a lot of years, I've wasted money getting online videos and tapes and
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature, but because it's like I don't like working out at home because like the kids are there, the family is there, your whole life is there. But it's like, okay, we cannot go to the gym, so you have to find something. So I
Right.
ended up like looking into different programs like AfriFit Fitness, and she does like a lot of dancing and like
Mm-hmm.
everything that she does, she incorporates the weights. So even if it's 5 pound weights and I'm sitting there dancing with her, for me, that keeps my attention and then it makes it fun for me. And
Mm-hmm.
then like I just started using this suit. So it looks like a vest. People think it's weighted. It's not weighted. It's a vest and it has bands attached to it. So I have bands that attach from my hand to here, and then I have bands that attach.
Oh.
So what I do is they like the people they gave it to me, they gave me like a workout, like mountain climbers and push-ups and this and that and the third and that. But sometimes for me, if I don't have a trainer, sometimes I'm not going to force myself to do that. So now
Right.
I have somebody else's workout program. I forgot this lady, but I brought it for the year. Like I literally paid for like 5 or 6 different programs so that
Yeah.
at least if I get bored, at least I have a choice. So now this lady, she does like a lot of like movement and upper body and lower body. So what I do is I put on my suit to give it more resistance and then I do it. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
do things that because I have to fulfill that lifting weight. Like I'm over 40 years old. I need to have resistance at least 3 times a week. And this
Right.
is what, and even though like jump rope is always going to be the forefront of what I show, these are things that I do behind the scenes as well. So to
Mm-hmm.
fulfill that, I always know my need for fun and my need to feel like I'm just enjoying what I'm doing. So that's what I've done. I've just like looked for other programs that I can do that will keep my interest. And I'll just step outside the hallway, you know, in my house and just make it happen the best I can.
Definitely. I love that. And let me tell you why, because I am big on buying people's programs. I will buy an ebook. I will buy 20 ebooks, okay? And then what ends up happening is like you can choose bits and pieces of like
Right.
exercises that you like and build your own program that's suited for yourself based on activities that you like. It's so there's so much information out there and so many points of view and so many ways to do things that buying people's courses, going on their lives while they're working out, just even if you're watching it from your bed at that point, just watching get an idea and it might motivate you too. Like I always find when I'm feeling unmotivated, like in the beginning of the pandemic, right? We couldn't go anywhere. We were shut down and
Right.
all of that. We had to make decisions. So when you're feeling unmotivated, I would watch videos of people doing things that I actually wanted to do but weren't doing, right?
Right.
So I'll watch someone who's, a content creator and they're scheduling their content and all of that. So like it motivates me to do that. Or I'll watch someone who is cooking, better foods that aren't, cooking at home and not eating all the bullshit that I eat all the time. And, just things like that. So all of these things provide motivation and it's always good to support as
Right.
well.
And it's funny too because like right now, like I'm in a space where I'm like having building programs and things like that. But the constant thing that I've been doing for free on social media is those 10 sets of 100 jumps, right?
Mhm.
And I've had, coaches and people in the past say, stop doing it. And I'm just like, for what? Like, it's like what me doing 10 sets of 100 jumps. it's not the same as when I teach a class. When I teach a
Right.
class, I'm going all in. I'm going to teach you like all kinds of things. Like this 10 sets of 100 jumps, it's nothing. All I'm doing is this like 100 times, you know? So I don't feel the need to charge somebody for that. And when I do that, it's on Instagram, it's on TikTok, it's on Facebook and YouTube. And
Mhm.
just the other day, you know, someone because I started, you know, I have the 4 people lives now on Instagram.
Okay.
So anytime I go live, I say, hey, look, if you're in gym clothes and you're ready, come on my screen with me, because I know how it feels to do those 1,000 jumps and be bored. Like I be bored. And that's the reason why I started doing it live, because even though I know nobody's there really watching the whole time, for me, it's that accountability. Okay, like somebody's watching. So because if the camera wasn't rolling, honestly, if I got to 300, I'd be like, okay, I'm tired of this. I don't want to do this no more.
Right.
So that's why I started live, and I've been doing that since like 2015.
Right. And you're
And
someone who loves jumping rope. So imagine
yeah,
someone who's just starting out.
right. So like the other day, after I had did my live video, a young lady, she was like, wow, I had got so unmotivated because it was cold out here, blah, 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 blah. But then you got me out here. And like a few minutes later, she posted a video of her on Instagram jumping rope, you know? So it's like, those are the little things that count. So, and I'm like, imagine if I would have listened to the coach and stopped doing those free videos. Like, I don't mind. It's just 1,000 jumps, you know, like,
You're telling people that that's what you do anyway. Like, what difference is it if
right.
I'm telling people you can do 1,000 jumps, 10 sets of 100, than just me showing you how to do it? Like, why wouldn't I show you how to do it? If anything, people can watch your form so that if they're
Right.
doing it themselves, I'm very interested about this vest that you have, by the way. Like,
Yeah, awesome.
it sounds really amazing. And I've seen it in your videos too, and I did think it was a weighted vest. I did when
I
I
love
saw
it.
you wear it.
It's not weighted. It's just the resistance. So like this week, I'm excited because I'm actually going to like put because I'm going to put the next level of resistance. So I think I've been using it for 3 weeks now. So like next this week, I'm gonna add the resistance,
And
more resistance.
isn't that great? Like, so imagine you were struggling, let's say with level 1 or position 1 or whatever have you, right? And then you go into the next one, into the next level, and you're increasing it and you just feel better. Your body's able to do it. Like, yeah, it's probably harder at first, but this is something you probably weren't able to do at all like a week
Right.
or so ago. And the way like your body is something else. Muscle
Mm-hmm.
memory is a thing. So guys, if you've ever worked out hard and you ever were like really like slim or whatever, it's very possible for you to get back to that. Your body remembers shit. Just like how it's easy for you to gain that weight because it remembers you being big,
Right.
it's easy for you to get smaller again because your body will do it. Like, it's not like you have to repurpose your whole body every single time. Your body has muscle memory and it'll
Right.
it'll do what you tell it to do.
Right.
Okay, so did you have anything else to add on jumping rope or anything like that before we get into our next segment?
No, let's go on ahead.
All right. So my next segment is my favorite segment. And since you're from the Bronx, you'll probably like it too. It's called Are You Dead Ass? Right. So
Okay.
it's just something where it's like a rant or rave over different things. And just where we want to get it off our chest. So before I start mine, is there anything you wanted to get off your chest today?
Yes, matter of fact, let's go. So last night, I had a young lady on Facebook write me, and
Mm.
she said in my inbox, she said, I've been, no, what did she say? I wish I had my other phone down here so I could show you. But she said something to the effect of, you're a great jumper, you're light on your feet, you're so fast, but I want to know, why haven't you got rid of your belly fat? Because I have been watching you for several years.
Not
No, no.
her.
And to go back, I forgot. She was like, hello, I mean no offense. Then she went into her thing. So when I seen that, I wrote her back and I said, when no offense means you intend offense, okay?
Mhm.
Like, let's get it
You
together.
knew what you were saying was wrong.
Exactly. And then when she wrote me back, she tried to say, oh, I don't know if my English was correct. And I'm just like,
Okay.
whatever. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, first of all, your profile picture is a picture of a cat. Where are you? Number one. Okay. And number two, if you have been following me for this long, you would have seen the journey, because I post transformation pictures, I post transformation videos. And even if
Mhm.
I'm not always on a transformation, you always see me in real time. I don't
Right.
shy away from social media. But also, too, if she was being attentive, which I talk about all the time in the pandemic, not only did I drop 30 pounds, I decreased one of 3 blood pressure pills. So it's like, where were you?
Right.
Where were you? And it just annoys me,
It's
because
terrible.
you have a profile picture of a cat.
Mm-hmm. No one's passing judgment on you, right? You're not letting anyone pass
Right.
this judgment on you. And you're here telling me like, why I haven't lost my belly? I'm sorry, excuse me? First of all, not every trainer, not everyone who works out, not every healthy person has a flat stomach. Like that's not like,
Right.
can we stop?
Nor do I aspire to have one. I had to, because and matter of fact, before I read her message, I was just maybe 2 or 3 days ago, I posted a picture on Instagram. One picture, I was 165. One picture, I was 198, right?
Mm-hmm.
And usually in the past, when I posted that picture, I used to post that picture to show people, hey, look, this was a cardio weight loss, because people couldn't tell the difference which was 165 and which was 198.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first one was a cardio weight loss. The second one was like a muscle lifting weights, right? But this time when I posted it with the caption basically saying, hey, I may never look like these pictures again. And I'm
Right.
okay with it. And I'm fine with it. I'm not going to depress myself over it. So
Mm-hmm.
that was, for the most part, the caption. And then the stories, I went on to explain to people, hey, look, I am not 20 years old anymore. I'm not 30 years old anymore. I'm not the same person, mindset, body set, anything. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm changing. I have more responsibilities. I don't want to eat 2 ounces of chicken every time I eat food. Like, I like food. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I like food. I live a real life. My body's going through changes. I'm not working hard. I'm not killing myself. Like, I work out for my wellness. I
Mm-hmm.
literally now work out to stay sane. I work out to like try to decrease. Like, I already beat the pre-diabetes already. Like, I am just working out to stay sane, to stay focused, and do the things that I need to do. So I'm just, whatever you are here for, that's your issue. But I was, and my point too is, tell a woman, if you know that you have to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G in order to look this way, and you're not willing to even put in the work, stop looking for that expectation. Like,
Right.
you have to be willing to put in that work to reach that desired goal.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell women too, if you're not happy with the weight, you're not going to be happy when you lose the weight. Like, you're not, because you're doing it for the wrong reason. Your why is not strong enough, and you're just going to lose it, and you're going to gain it right back, because your why is just it's
It's
generic.
vain. It's
Yeah,
vain. Right.
like, you want
So
to lose weight to look good for a cruise. Like, it's fine, but
once
what's going
the
to happen
cruise is
after the
over,
cruise?
yeah, when you're binging now, 2 weeks later after the cruise, because you're just like, I'm tired. You've probably drained yourself because you've been working out like a maniac, not really eating how much you're supposed to really be eating. And then like, you can really crash. And that's just not like a physical crash. Like, that's a mental crash too, where you just
Right.
don't want to do shit. And I'm speaking from experience, because I've done this before. I've done the crash diets where I'm doing the most, eating 2 ounces of chicken or ground turkey and asparagus or broccoli every day. Like that, it's not fun. And if that's your life and that's what makes you happy, that cool. But for me, that shit is not fun. I don't
Like,
want to eat like that.
to your own self, be true. At the end of the day, it's like,
Definitely.
be honest with yourself, and be honest to let you know, like, because at the end of the day, you know what you have to do. At the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
like, between YouTube, Google, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, MySpace, wherever you want to go, there's more than enough information.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to get to a desired state, you know what you have to do. Like, if you and me decide, okay, we want to do X, Y, and Z, we know exactly what we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of if you're willing and ready to do it.
Right. I love that you said alter your expectations, because that's very important. Like, I know I'm not working out, right? So like, well, I'm trying to get back into it, but I know originally, like, I haven't really been working out, right? So I know my body is not going to look like someone who works out. Like, you just have to know that even if I'm eating salad every day, like, there's different ways your body looks depending on what you're doing to lose weight. Like you said, there's a cardio body versus just a weightlifting, toning kind of weight loss body. And then there's the starvation body. And all of those bodies look completely different depending
Right.
on what you want to do. So you want to be able to, you also want to have, you want to have a plan. You want to be realistic with your plan. And be realistic with your body. I'll never be 120 pounds. I don't like, that's just not me. I've never been
Right.
it. Like, not since I passed it growing up. Like, I've never been back. And I don't think I'm ever going to be back. I'm 35 years old. And I'm okay with that. As
Right.
long as
And
you
that's
said
and that's the
for yourself
thing.
and your
Like
wellness.
people have to be okay with where they are and where they're going, because you can't expect yourself. I'm 40. I can't expect to look like what I looked like at 18 years old. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like you just like you have to accept like your child at all stages, like accept you at all stages.
Yes. Yes, definitely. I love that. So we're gonna get into my dead ass. And this one is actually in honor of World Autism Day, right? I just wanted to say, shame on you, New York State, for making it harder for full-time working moms of special needs kids. And I knew it was hard because I've worked my son's whole entire life. I've been a full-time worker, all of that. And I knew it was hard, but I never realized how hard they made it until I wasn't working anymore. I've literally been able to get so many things for Ethan because I'm home in the middle of the day than when I was working to pay my bills. And it's so disgusting to think about. Like, he's lived here 11 years. 11 years. It took us forever to get through to the OPWDD. Then there was that whole transfer where they weren't doing care specialists anymore, and then they were doing something else. So we had to start all the way from scratch because we were in the middle of
Wow.
the process. It's disgusting, right? And then it's like, I have to take days off from work. I can't get OT at 3:00 because I'm not here. And even though they do send like aides or whatever so that I didn't have to worry about childcare, majority of the time these aides don't speak English. So
Wow.
it's like an occupational therapist, yeah, they can come, but the aide isn't really there to let me know what's going on. I'm not like, it's a lot. And I just really want to say shame on you, because it's like, you want people to work, but you don't provide the support needed so that we can be out in the, I don't mind being out in the workforce. I don't mind going to work. I really don't, for the most part. I mean, now that I'm home, I don't know if I want to do it again, but
Right. Same here.
but just seeing how hard it was for me then, and how it's still hard. Don't get me wrong. I'm still fighting and I'm still doing that. Like, I'm not going to say stay-at-home moms have it like 100% easier, but it's just that little bit of convenience goes a long fucking way, because I had no convenience as a working mom. None whatsoever. And it's disgusting. And I just wanted to say that. So guys, it's World Autism Day. Light it up blue, show some compassion, show some understanding, try to understand that not every person with autism is the same. As you can hear, my son is completely different from Bernadette's son.
Right.
So
And
there's many levels.
I
Yeah.
have two children on the spectrum. So they are two total different complete kids.
Isn't that wild though? How that, I mean, everyone is
Very.
different in general, right? But it's just like, usually when you hear someone having some type of, condition or whatever have you, there's a lot of things that they have in common. Like, you can point them out. For the most part, you can't tell my son has autism walking down the street. Like,
And let's dispel that rumor, right? There
mhm,
is no look to autism.
at
There
all.
is no look to autism. There is no look to autism. And a lot of times people, I think they're comparing autism to Down syndrome.
Hmm.
There is no look to autism. Like, you can look at all three of my sons and you would not know who has autism. The
Right.
only way you may be able to know is if you're a specialist in the area. You may notice that he may
Or a
ignore the
mom.
camera. Right.
Or a mom. Because me, when I see a little kid in the street and I'm just like, they're probably on the spectrum. Like, I could just tell, like, there's little things that they do
In the
sometimes,
behavior.
right? In the
Hmm.
behavior. So like, if you're not trained to see those little things, because sometimes it could be something so small, like how you said, like, they're not looking in the camera, or if I'm talking to them, like, their eyes are darting and they don't want to like look at me in the face and things like that. And this person can have a conversation with you, like how me and you are having a conversation, right?
Right.
And then it could be a kid like Ethan who doesn't really speak. It's just the spectrum is wild, and yeah, there is
Like
no look for
I
autism.
remember like some years ago, I was at a concert, and you know how they have like the grate in the ground for water, right? And the water
Mm-hmm.
drain. So we're at the concert. My son is minding his own business, and he's like putting dirt. Like he even to this day, I take him to the park. He don't care about the slide, swing, anything. If he see a dirt in some trees, that's where he gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
So like some years ago, he was just putting dirt in the thing, putting dirt.
Mm-hmm.
So a lady decides to come up to me and like, you should tell your son to stop and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, okay, we're going to breathe. We're going to calm
Right.
down. We're not going to say, but then another person walked up to me and was like, he's on the spectrum, right? And I'm like, yes. So yeah, people really don't understand. And especially like when you're in a supermarket and they may be
Mm-hmm.
acting out and people are looking at you like, won't you just slap him? No, that's not going to work.
At all.
That's just not going to work. Like,
They don't
stop
understand.
telling
Like,
me.
at least for my
And
kid, he doesn't get it, right? Like,
right.
if I hit him, yeah, he may cry, but he's not gonna learn from it. So what's the point of that?
And to my new autism moms, let me just say this. If you are in a public place and your child is doing what your child would normally do if you weren't in that public place, do not feel the pressure from people that's giving you eyes to smack
Mm-hmm.
or scream at your child or do
Right.
anything that you wouldn't normally do because other people are looking.
Mm-hmm.
Like I I remember I took my two sons on the train and I was just like, oh my gosh.
Oh, the
But
train.
one kid threw the phone across because one kid, I guess one of my sons said something to my baby. He got mad. He threw my phone across the train. And then my other little son, my middle son, kept saying, "You stole my seat. You stole my seat." When the baby came back to the chair, and I'm just looking at people are looking at me, and I'm just like,
They're
I'm gonna let
fine.
them do it. I'm gonna let them do what they do. That's what they do. So,
Right.
but I'm
Right.
not gonna let your eyes. I'm not gonna let the people staring at me or whispering under their breaths dictate to me now how I'm going to treat my child. Because if I wasn't going to treat my child like this at home, no, I'm
Right.
not going to do it to satisfy you because my child is screaming a little too loud or because my
Mm-hmm.
child is stomping up and down in the train. I'm not going to do it. So, new autism mom, I tell you, please, 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 the way you treat your child at home, treat your child that same way in the street when people
Mm-hmm.
are looking.
And and to go off on that, don't let it embarrass you. Like, this
Right.
is your baby. You know how it
Hmm.
is. Like, for me, I know I hear him all, like, he doesn't speak, but like he'll hum or he'll sing or whatever have you, right? And I hear it, and right now it's like it's second nature. Like, I don't even hear it anymore when he does it. Like, it's just part of whatever sounds are in my house.
It's part
And
of
when
our
it
lives.
and when it happens in the street, for the most part, like, I don't even listen to it until I would look around at people and they're like looking at him weird or then looking at me weird. And then it's like I turn into a whole mama bear. So now I'm staring at you like, what are you looking at? Like, why are you looking at him? You don't have a phone to look at? Like, he's entertained. He's not paying you no fucking mind. And I wait for people to I'd be ready, girl. I don't know about you, but I'd be ready for someone to say something about my child. And because he can't, I'ma say it, right? Like,
Right.
and he's taller than me. So imagine, I can only imagine when
Oh,
he's older.
wow.
Oh yeah, my son is big. He's a big boy. Once he gets older, it's gonna be a wrap. I'm gonna be behind him really small, like, I'll fight you, I don't care. Oh boy. But yeah, I love that. For new autism's moms, don't treat your kids different in the street than you would at home. Don't let their behaviors embarrass you. Don't let the opinions of other people or what you think other people are going to think hinder you from getting your child help. That's another
Right.
big one. For
A
National
very big one.
Autism Day, guys, if you see that your child is struggling, if people are telling you and you don't want to talk about it or you're in denial or all of that, get over that, because the best thing that the only thing that you can do is provide for your kid, right? And you have to provide them the best, and just try. Fuck what everybody else has to say.
Yep.
Everybody
And
has
people,
issues.
yep, and you're not going to have that support. Like I the first time I went around, the first time it happened, I was told things such as, you're just unorganized, you're not doing a good job, you're not this, you're not that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're trying to make this thing for all our Black boys. Oh, your son is gonna
Mm-hmm.
grow out of it. So if you're a mom that thinks something is different, or
Mm-hmm.
if you've been told and you're now going through the process, like, just stick with your gut, and really go get the help. There's a lot of Facebook support groups. There are a lot of coaches out here that can get you through it, because I know how it feels to cry every day,
Mm-hmm.
because the schools are calling you. You don't know what to do. Because I didn't even know, like, autism was never a thing in my mind. And I'm just like,
Right.
okay, why is he slapping himself across the floor and
Mm-hmm.
all the different kind of things? Because, like, I didn't know. And it's like, you're gonna go through these things, but there is more information out there if you seek it, and like I said, you're not going to be supported. You're not. So you have to fight, and you have to keep doing the things that you're going to do. The second time around, I had no clue. I thought my son was doing well, and I went to the doctor. Hey, how many words is he saying? Okay, he's not saying enough. Hey, let's try early intervention. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool beans. I went that route, so I didn't have to go the hard route, right? And because I had already accepted my other son, I was
Mm-hmm.
able to now deal with this. It's like, in my mind, it's like,
Right.
okay, this again. But yeah, of course, when you're a new autism mom, you're going to go through the stages. So the denial, the grief, the guilt, the shame,
Mm-hmm.
until you accept it, because it's like, okay,
The blaming oneself.
right. And you have to get over these things, like, what did I do? Or was it this? Or did I have a glass of wine? Or, oh my gosh, when my child gets older, am I going to be able to have grandkids? Like, all of these different things that now you have to kind of accept. And that can take a while. It can take a little while. It can take a long while. But as long as you are speaking to someone and really fighting for your child and really working on yourself, because that's important too. Yes, you have this kid, but now you have to work on yourself to
Right.
accept this new reality for yourself and your child.
It's a different upbringing altogether.
Yep.
It's a different household than what I was ever accustomed to. And you do have to make the changes within yourself. You do have to accept it. You do have to forgive yourself. And that was
Hmm.
big for me. I had to forgive myself. Forgive myself for maybe taking longer than I should have, or feeling like I took longer than I should have to get him in early intervention, or maybe I did do something while I was pregnant, or was it the vaccines, or is it because he drank formula, or like, it's so
Right.
much that goes through your mind, and you just really have to understand that it's not a death sentence. Like,
Right.
your child is going to be okay. You just
Hmm.
have to acclimate to your new situation, and that's it.
And on social media, I like to share, like, the fun, lighthearted things. Like, of
Mhm.
course, I still go through the acting out and all the things that we have to deal with, of course. But I like to share, like, the lighthearted moments. So,
Yeah.
like, my audience, they love when I put my Yaronisms, I call them, because he has a snapback for everything.
Yeah.
And then, like one time, we went to the supermarket, and he wanted cinnamon toast crunch, and I'm like, I'm not buying this today. And he's like, what did he say? He's like, you're messing up the level of my patience, or something he said. I forgot the exact words. And I'm just like, what? Like, what? Like, and then, like, even the other day, my 4-year-old, it was like 9 o'clock in the morning. He wanted his Nintendo Switch. I took the Nintendo Switch away. He said, I wish you would go somewhere that would take you a long time to get back home. I was like, what? Like,
I love that.
a
It's
4-year-old.
so it's
Like,
so innocent, right? It's like, I just don't want to
it's
see you for a long time.
it's all black and white, no gray. Like, that took me all
Mhm.
the way off guard. I was just like, what? Like, but they keep me on my toes, definitely
Yeah.
keep, because they would not tell you any lies. Like, it's gotten to the point, like, with my 11-year-old, if he asks me what a word means or what this is, I don't even answer him, because it's a setup. Because as soon as I give him my version of the thing, well, it is, and he's gonna give me the dictionary version. So why did you ask me?
Right, right.
You
He's
know?
just testing you.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not falling into your games. Like, don't even ask me no questions. Get out of here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
even though, it's very stressful at the end of the day too, it's, to me, sometimes fun. Like, I laugh every day. Like, I may have to wait until, like, I may have to wait till I go to another room,
yes.
but I crack up all the time. It's
My son
funny.
hissed at me the other day. He
Oh.
hissed at me. I was just like, my mom we were in my room, right? Sitting on my bed, relaxing. And he has this thing where he wants to use his cell phone and his iPad at the same time. And I'm like, no, first of all, if they both die, like I'm not dealing with you and your tantrum. Like that's not happening. So I was like, one at a time. He put the iPad down, looked at me and went, I said, what?
Oh!
I couldn't laugh in the moment, but I really wanted to laugh. Like, why are you hissing at me?
Yeah, and even my like 11-year-old, it's like at the point where like when he gets upset, he screams at me as if he's an adult, and it's like it doesn't matter that I'm his mom, and it's just like okay, like I had to go to YouTube, right? I literally had to go to YouTube when he gets upset, like he gets upset, and like I had to go to YouTube, like what do you do when your Asperger's child is angry? So me and him watched the video together. We wrote down the strategy. So I said, well, what do you want to do when you start to think that you're getting angry? So he said, think about another country. I said, okay, cool. So I was like, okay, good. I'm doing some good. So the next week it came time to test it out. He started to get angry. I said, Yaron, what did we say we were going to do when we got upset? He's like, I'm too angry to think about another country. And I'm just like, I tried. I tried. Oh, well.
You guys had a plan, right? You know, sometimes it doesn't always work.
I tried. Next time.
I love that. All right, Bernadette, this was a great conversation.
Yeah.
Tell my listeners where they can find you.
Well, you can find me at www.makeitfunnyc.com. You can find me on Instagram at makeitfunnyc, Twitter, makeitfunnyc, TikTok, which I totally love. Jump rope is dope. So that's where you can find me.
Oh, yes. I'm going to link everything down below. I'm definitely going to follow you on TikTok. I love TikTok. It's scary how much I love it. It's a rabbit hole for sure. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Do I Look Fat podcast. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram _StephyKiss, STEPHYKISS, and the Do I Look Fat pod, exactly how it sounds. Don't also forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast so that you never miss an episode. I will see you next Fine and Thick Friday. Bye, guys.
Black.